going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on? What's going on, family? It's your boy Agent Dynamite Sloan. Yeah, we coming through the night on a late night hour, man. I just want to tune in with you guys real quick. Listen, so go ahead and share this video. Share this video real quick. We're gonna get to it. Tonight, I wanted to come in, and as I told you guys yesterday, today's Tuesday. So yeah, yesterday I was gonna do another video and really talk about a little bit about my project, right? So the title of this deal is Why Base, right? So I want to come on tonight just to be able to talk for just a moment about what's going on and how we're creating generational wealth across the nation. This is a project I've been working on, man, for I don't know, last 7-8 months maybe. But the reality is 2020 is really when I created this concept of being able to do new construction and real estate development. So I'm gonna allow you guys to tap into my world for just a little bit so you can share this video early. Share it early, you know what I'm saying? Post it up in the comments, but just take a look at the screen right now, right? So what you guys are looking at right now is affordable housing project that we're working on right now, lower copy, in Houston, Texas. And so I really want to talk tonight about wealth accumulation. It was just kind of on my spirit, and I said, you know, I wasn't gonna go to bed without putting this out here, just trying to do a better job of listening to what my spirit tell me to do, you know, regardless of the time frame, regardless of the topic, just putting it out there. And so I really want to talk about why base tonight, man. So I kind of jot out a couple of things. It's very, very important to me to talk about legacy, as you guys know who've been following me for a long time, and understand that's really my mindset of building something long term. And so I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm 40 years old and I've built a lot of things in my lifetime. But one thing that my accident taught me 2 years ago is that all this stuff could be taken away in a blink of an eye. And what are you leaving behind? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going to be the successor of our success or the success of our time? And for me, that was an eye opener, you know what I'm saying, of not to waste time, to build things and be in a community where true wealth accumulation can be there and be in a position where I understand that what I've done in my lifetime can go for generation to generation, right? And the reality is, if you don't own the business, you're written the cash flow. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. So why base to me was to build, achieve, and sustain excellence, to build in a community of individuals, of like-minded folk who can come together and really be able to build something for a long term and be in a space where your wealth accumulation can continue to grow. And I don't know about you guys, but the way the world is set up right now, it's a scarcity of security. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is in such a scarcity space. to understand true security and true accumulation to make sure your family's okay, you got to own the ATM of what's printing the money to take care of your family. So, I commend business owners and entrepreneurs, Forex traders, crypto traders, as you know, I've done that for the last 5 years, you know what I'm saying, to really be able to invest for the future. But I want to talk about how to build, achieve, and sustain excellence. Damn. All right, so it knocked me off real quick, but we're gonna keep the ball rolling. And so, as I was saying, like we're gonna talk about tonight the reality of how to build, achieve, and sustain excellence. And so, when you're looking at the project that my partners are now working on in Houston, Texas, a revitalization program, and I want to talk to you guys about the importance of being in a core group, of building something. As I was saying before I got knocked off, that 2 years ago, man, I had an eye opener. And for those who don't know, you know what I'm saying, for me, I had a fatal car accident where one of my partners passed. I almost passed, had 60 wounds all over my body. You know what I'm saying? Could have, took me 6 months to recover. Came home in a walker and had to really walk and develop all over again. You know what I'm saying? And a guy really been dealing with me like on that topic, very, very heavy of making sure how I use my time, that I use it wisely. You know what I mean? And I don't know about you all, but I have a background in insurance and investment, so I understand how wealth transfers. And it really was an eye opener because it was like, Sloan, like, with all that you do and you're busy going, all my stuff wasn't even set up correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality of it. The TODs, which is a transfer and death document, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that's signed at the banks for bank accounts. Yes, you know what I'm saying? I had the assets put together, but all the transfer information to make sure that the wealth moved from one generation to the next generation of it just wasn't done. And so that was a slowdown moment for me where I had to really pay attention to what I was doing, not only what I was teaching, but as I said yesterday, a lot of times in life, you got to understand the difference between being busy and productive. And being caught up in busy work, a lot of times, you kind of get thrown off with all the details that you need to get done. You can miss the details. And for me, that was a life-changing experience, not just from the physical piece and the mental, anguish and, had to recover from that. But it was an eye-opener that what have I built that I truly could say that all the business was in order. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of gave me the encouragement to go back to what I was doing and working on 5 years ago, 2020, prior to me even starting my Forex and Crypto Academy with my partners. I was doing real estate development. You know what I'm saying? That was something I was doing quiet as kept, building homes, putting things together. And God kind of gave me what can I say? A directive. It was use it or lose it. You know what I'm saying? Either I was going to use my talents to be able to help other individuals grow, or be selfish and keep sharing, keeping the knowledge to myself and building what I was building. I mean, that particular project would have about 120,000 could have bought like 7-8 acres of land. It was only going to take about $50,000 per home to build it. They were selling for $250,000. I could have put 10 of them on a lot and easily made $2 million profit, quiet as kept, with just working with developers. But that was selfish, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reality of it. So, I want to kind of just share before I go into this notion, like, what does it mean to me? I was charged with that fact. I couldn't make the decision of whether I was going to do it on my own or listen to the commission that my spirit has given me and help other individuals learn how to really build this process out. And so since I couldn't make the decision, God made it for me. It got down to that last signature of an inheritance property and they didn't sign. You know what I'm saying? And so I always share that story because for 5 years, I built something that I was commissioned to do. Not that I was just wanted to build it, wanted to do it. No, I was charged to do it. You know what I'm saying? And through all the process of it, I'm super grateful. We help hundreds of thousands of people to be able to do and learn that skill set and help impact people's lives, that I'm truly grateful. And I made amazing relationships with people that I'll have for the rest of my life. But the reality is that when everything settled and we got into a position to be able to merge with that publicly traded company, I feel like this project, God put it back inside of my hand and gave it to me 10 times greater than it was before. You know what I'm saying? And so my goal as an individual has always been to coach and educate, to build communities of people that could scale their life up and go to the next level. And that's where the acronym, a base of building, achieving, and sustaining excellence came from. When you're talking about building something from the scratch up, you're going to need like-minded individuals, right? You're going to need people who think like you. You're going to need people who can encourage you, that can coach you. You're going to need the right systems. You're going to need things that you don't even know that you need. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to build something, have you ever built something in your life and then you look back and, you know, you look at all the coaching and all the lessons that you learned along the way? Building is not thinking, right? Building is actively putting your hands to the plow and actually making something work. That's what building is, right? So if you're looking at, you want to build anything, you can have a vision, you can have a thought, but then you're going to need other individuals to be able to specialize in what you don't know. And that's how you can build what you're thinking, right? So all of us have thoughts, but who's helping you build it? So to build it, it takes a community. It takes more hands than yours, right? It's no iron team, as we've heard this acronym a million times, but it's the truth. Like if you're really trying to build something, you're going to need a group of individuals around you, right? And to achieve it, right? That bottom line, to hit that goal, everybody wants to hit a benchmark and achieve a certain level of excellence and a certain level of success. You know, so achieving something that we all could be proud of. We could be proud of when you achieve something. We congratulate our children or our family members when you achieve different benchmarks. And that's great. You know what I'm saying? To be able to hit that, because it's like a pat on the back, if you will, that you actually done something. That the feeling of accomplishment is very, very important when you're going for any goal. But the essence out of base to me is the most important piece, especially when you talk about legacy, especially when you talk about doing something beyond you, is sustaining it, right? You know, you have to have that ability to sustain. And this is where financial literacy and education comes into a play, because as a culture, we've built things, we've achieved milestones, but many generations have not sustained the excellence, right, to be able to pass it down from generation to generation. So what happens of it is every generation starts over. You know what I'm saying? Everybody starts over from where they are. And the reality of it is that if you don't understand how, when you look at Jewish communities, they give gifts of wealth at marriages. They don't just give toasters, or, you know, when we move into homes, people just make a registry and they give us a bunch of consumer goods. In the Black community, this was a part of the issue. We have so much stuff and not enough assets. We're the largest consumers in the world. You know, our population is the swaggiest, coolest, ethnic group in the world that has the most influence on every culture. You know, hip hop kind of just took over the planet with the swag and, you know, the vernacular and how we carry ourselves. Timberland boots became a big thing, fitted caps, whether you from New York or Jersey, it doesn't matter. Like I was in Panama and I saw a dude rocking a Yankee cap. I'm just like, it ain't even about a baseball cap. It's the fact of what the image represents. And so our culture as a whole have so much influence. But when you look at how do we create generational wealth, we don't have the mindset of how to accumulate assets and pass them down. It's the ego and everything else. When I look at Jewish communities, I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about how Jewish communities actually give away assets at marriages or when a baby is born. And when you look at why if they are in a minority sector in this country in regards to population, but in regards to wealth accumulation, they're always looked at as being the people who have the most assets and properties and cash flow, is because the culture is different. The Jewish culture versus the African American culture is different. And so, I want to come on here today and talk a little bit about that, of why building and achieving is so important, but sustaining excellence is such a thing that I'm gonna continue to dedicate my life, to helping other people become great. Because I believe knowledge is the difference. I was talking to one of my partners yesterday, and I was looking at when I used to play ball in Salisbury as a kid in North Rand Middle School, and getting to high school. Like, my people didn't even realize how good I was. You know what I'm saying? They never came to the game, so they saw it in the paper, to heard other people talk about it, or I made state or regionals or something like that for a track meet. They didn't really know, because my mom was working 2 and 3 jobs. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I witnessed that. Like, I lived that with a parent that wasn't there. So as an adult, like, I made it my business to be at all my kids' stuff, but I looked at the difference of me versus how I saw my mother, and I love her to death, and my pops, but they worked 2 and 3 jobs. So when I used to look at the parents that would be there and how they could attend everything, you know what I'm saying? They could be at every game or every track meet or whatever. I realized later that they just had different information, that their freedom that they was able to create for themselves to do certain things for their children just came because they made different decisions of how they made their money, their 401k, their TSPs, their 457s. Like, this is what inspired me to go into finance and be able to learn this information as a young guy and mature into it, to understand that wealth accumulation has nothing to do with the projects that you grew up in. It has nothing to do with your nationality or your color or your religion, whether you Muslim, whether you Hinduism, whether you Christian, or it doesn't matter. It's all about knowledge. You see what I'm saying? And so you have to be around people that think a certain way, to have a certain behavior, to be able to create a certain lifestyle. So me creating this brand is something that I wanted to do, to continue to give back to the community that I came from and the community that I serve, that look like me, who you don't have to have the college degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have the masters. And though no shout on the people that do, I think it's very important to have those things. But your knowledge is what separates you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me, then you know when it comes to my kids, it ain't much that I miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always there. I'm that dad that's going to be present. You know what I mean? Like, physically supporting, mentally and emotionally. But I paid the price for that because I paid attention. And so Base itself is a community of individuals who serve that same purpose. When you look at the images on the screen right now, I'm going to kind of click through for a second. I want you guys to take a look at this. This is pure excellence. So when you look at building something in Third Ward in Houston, imagine having a affordable housing project that looks like this. So why is affordable housing so important? Because Houston as a population has 90,000 home shortage. You're talking about the 4th fastest growing city in the country. I'm a businessman, so I look at supply and demand. So number one, I wanted to create a community where individuals can come to and get real estate education, understand LLCs, understand trust, understand what needs to be done to be able to grow their money and protect their money, and then be able to build a new construction. If you understand real estate, then you understand that the average person is buying a home at market value or 10 to 20% below market. But when you look at new construction as a developer, you could build a home and have 30 to 50% equity in the home immediately. What does that do for us as a culture? It puts your wealth accumulation at another level. When you look at, you have that opportunity to not only own a home, but build one with equity into it, that if you do an 80% with most banks with a cash out refi, you could pull that money out of the project and start another one. This is real game and real sauce of how do you accumulate. So when you look at an affordable housing community, how many would agree that you will live in a home that look like this? Like, if you pulled up to your housing community, it looks like this right here. You follow me? And you walk in, you will feel like, yo, I got a dope pad. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at this particular piece, affordable housing in Houston is 300,000 and under, right? So we wanted to build a community where we can identify good property, build homes. This particular lot, I'm gonna show you. This particular property right here, this is the site plan. So this is 37 affordable housing that we're building for our community in Houston, Texas. So whether you live in Texas or not, being in a community that had projects that we can create true wealth accumulation, all of these projects go to the base community. If you've been following me for a period of time, you've heard me say, I will build a community that we will buy properties together, invest together, buy banks together, create different funds together. because I believe in collaboration over competition. I believe that there's enough money out here in these banks and hedge funds and family offices that we can leverage our personal credit, business credit, go take the bank's money, put ourselves in position, and collectively, you might not have $1 million sitting down, but if 10 of us got it to the table and we all put up 100,000, we got $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It's all about collaboration. It's not about how much do you have. It's all about what can we do as a collective as we put our money together? What can we go buy? So we sent that property over. That's about 2.5 acres that we bought in Houston. And you're looking at a site plan right now of 37 different homes in that same format that would be built for affordable housing, 5 miles from downtown Houston, to be in a situation where you can actually have property and prime real estate that look as good as this. They're building a as good as this right here. They're building a hospital right downtown in that area in Lower Compton in Houston as well. And so you're talking about the ability to be able to own a home with 30 to 50% equity, newly built, get a construction loan for $150,000. Property is valued at $300,000 to $320,000. Pulling cash out, refi, a profit of 150 grand off the top, and having a debt servicing that's continuous, and having a rent roll that can take care of the debt servicing. Guys, this is game, you know what I'm saying, of why we built it and why we developed it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to come on for just a moment and really kind of like point of why base, like why did I start building this project, and why did I partner up with my partner Tel Bilbo? Because he had 22 years in real estate construction. We talked together. We already built the bond with each other. So when I look at, if you read my book, The 10 Dynamite Principles of Success, I always talk about strategic partnerships. When you do anything in life and in business, you should partner with people that's better than you in certain areas. I understood finance. I understood how to put a business together, but my brother had been doing construction for 22 years. So for us to come together, it was a no-brainer to me. You know what I mean? So this is one project that our community has been able to develop. I'm going to show you another one. How about this one? Again, building excellence. So it's one thing to build it, is another thing to achieve it, sustain it. But you're talking about pure excellence. This is a site plan for Prairie View, right? We bought 8 acres in Prairie View University, right across the street from Prairie View A&M University, for student housing. 775 doors in this particular process, a single beds and double beds, right? So I want to come on this tonight and just really be able to show you guys that, you know what I'm saying, talk is cheap. And my heart desire, coming from what I came from over the last couple of years, was to build something where individuals could come together, invest money together, split money on ROIs together, and build a community that has a residual income that you own. It's really, really simple. Ain't nothing hard about it. You know what I'm saying? I think as a culture, we make stuff so hard. But the reality of it is, this wasn't that hard to do, because a group of us came together. And you're talking about investors from 25,000 to 100,000 to be able to put money up and say, hey, listen, I just want to work on a project. You're talking about real estate education packages where we got mentees that show up and learn how to actually do this. Like, I want y'all to be honest with me. How many of you all on this call, on watching this live, have always said you wanted to be in real estate? Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? How many of you has said, I want to do something in my life with real estate? I want to own property. I want to be an investor. I want to build some residual. Why did you say that? Like, what made you say that? Because you knew it was true security in owning real estate. That's why most people do it, is because they understand that it's so much security in real estate that they want to develop, and they want to create these notions because they know the future of their retirement is stabilized. So this doesn't matter how old you are. It really matters when do you start, and when do you start working with a group of individuals. So I want to ask you another question. The housing community that you live in right now, right? Whether you live in a townhome, condominium, apartment complex, housing development, you live somewhere where somebody had enough vision and foresight, and they invested their money to build it before you got there. True or not true? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you was there when it was all trees, or when there was no pavement. I don't think you was there. I think most of us moved into developments after someone already had a blueprint and a vision to develop it. Then we saw it and we purchased it. But it could have been 3 or 4 or 5 other people stayed there before you. Then you came in and rented it, or you came in and bought it. So the reality of my point of it is that in every level of development, somebody had to have the vision or the foresight to create it before the people who enjoyed it even knew it existed. Does that make sense? So it's a difference between having sight and vision. What I'm talking to you tonight about of why in my particular investment group, why did we put our money together to be able to develop is because we had vision to see if we crowdfunded our money together, we could buy land and we could build homes that other people could live in the future. You follow me? What if you was that person from the homes that you live in right now? What if you had partnered with the developer who built your housing development? How much wealthier would you be right now? How much more cash flow would you be having if you live in an apartment complex and every single door that you walk past when you go downstairs to your car every day, if you had a portion of the cash flow that came from that rent roll, how much more cash flow residual income would you be accumulating for your family? See, that's the difference between rich and wealthy. See, that's the difference between being flashy, acting like you got money, and really having assets. See, I'd rather have assets than just cash flow. And the reason why I say this is because assets will always accumulate over time. It's like fine wine and keep aging. You follow me? I did a post a couple of years back when I said a lot of these young boys keep flashing money. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you showing your money, you broke. You feel me? That's just always been my mindset. People who flash money, you know what I mean? That don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I did a different post where I took a picture of all my titles and all of my deeds. You follow me? Because the game is different when you own stuff. You don't got to show no cash. What do you own? You know what I'm saying? How many titles to the cars that you drive you actually own, paid free and clear? How many houses do you own that you actually got the title to them? They're yours. How many deeds do you have? You see what I'm saying? How many deeds do you own? And that's the difference to me of rich and wealthy. That's the difference between acting like you got some money and really being in position to make some real moves in life with maturity to put your family in another position. And so why base, like this community project was put together just for like-minded individuals, you know what I'm saying? People who wanted to do something with their lives and be able to accumulate some type of assets to have a positive rent roll, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited about it, man. So I'm going to show you guys a few things in here real quick. So, you know, you could drop a comment or DM me if you got some questions about it, if you caught this live late or early or whatever. But I'm going to kind of show you guys, I'm going to give you some free sauce and some game real quick. So how do we create this particular project? And if you're watching it, like, how do you get involved? And so this particular project was 37 entry-level homes, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. So why do we do 2 bedroom, 2 baths? We did 2 bedroom, 2 baths because when we study the market of Houston, again, business is all about understanding the market of what you're attempting to do. Most people in that area is either single or have 1 car, right? And so the 3 bedroom, 3 bath model, that it's not a need for it. You know what I'm saying? Most people were single with 2 kids or just needed 2 bedrooms, right? And so you build a 2 bedroom, 2 bath at $150,000. That's your lot cost and the construction cost. You're talking about at a $300,000 average price ticket. That's $150,000 in profit. You know what I'm saying? Equity. So if you was able, let's say you got a 680 or 700 credit score, and you go to the bank and say, I want a $150,000 construction loan. Let's just say you want $175,000 to give yourself some wiggle room. So if you go to the bank and get a construction loan for $175,000, you could then purchase a lot, have the money to be able to do your construction. And when that house is built and goes on the market and sells for $300,000, you have that $150,000 threshold after the house is sold, right? To be able to pay off your construction loan and still make $150,000. Does that make sense? So that's the margin when we're talking about how to leverage credit to be able to make certain moves. Now, the average person in this country does not make $150,000 a year. I'm talking about laboring. You know, I was studying something the other day, and it was like the top 5% of America makes 200,000 and beyond, right? 200,000 is like the threshold of the top 5%. So we're talking about 150,000 push you beyond 90% of the country. See, I'm a data person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a study of numbers and economics. And so when I look at if I could leverage my credit to be able to get a construction loan, to get a property, to take that property and sell it in the market in a space where 90,000 people are looking for a home, And only thing I have to do is wait 4 to 6 months, and then my profit from it is better than the income of 90% of America. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a win under any stretch of the imagination. So what if you a person who did too? If you was a person who got a $300,000 construction loan and you actually built 2 homes and you had a $300,000 profit on your deal, pay off your construction loan, you done made 600,000. You take 300,000 out of the 600, pay your construction loan off free and clear. You are free and clear, and you've made 300,000. You are now in the top 2% of income people in the country. So when you look at the average person going to school to 4 to 6 years to make under $80,000 a year, you know what I'm saying? Making the national average is like 57 grand. Even with a 4-year degree, the average person with a 4-year degree is making 60,000. You could do one property and have more income than a person with a 4 to 6 year degree. That's the power of real estate. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of wealth accumulation. So again, if you don't own the machine that produces your cash flow, you're just renting it. You know what I'm saying? And so my goal with what I'm doing in my career and in my life is to teach individuals the sauce of how to actually put themselves in a position to have equity and ownership. So if you're a person right now making 6 figures, God bless you. That's great. But you could take a person that's making that $50,000 or $60,000 who got decent credit, and they could do the exact same thing. You could take a person right now that's a school teacher, or take a person that's an engineer or what have you, who got decent credit, who has a business. And I could take that person and put that person in position to get a construction loan, get approved for $150,000, buy them a lot, build them a home. In 4 to 6 months, that house is sold off and they done made 150 grand just that fast. This is the game. This is the true wealth accumulation. This is how the game really works. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to put yourself in position with individuals who can do that. You know what I mean? And so I want to come on here tonight and just really talk about it for a second. Let me show you another one real quick. So this is another project that we're working on, right? This is 12 townhomes in Houston. Same thing, 3 bedroom, 3 baths. Some of them is 4 bedroom, 4 bath. So this is a townhome deal that would take about 300,000 to build. So you can get a construction loan for 300 grand. I mean, it's easy. There ain't no money out of pocket. You just know how to structure it. You know what I'm saying? You get a construction loan for 300,000. You pay your construction loan, so you're paying the laborers, the general contractors, you're paying off your dirt, and they build you a townhome. The townhomes right now in that area right now is selling for $700,000 to $900,000. So that means you're making $400,000 at a minimum. You netting 400,000 will put you in the top 1% in the country. Like I'm telling you, like the sauce that comes with understanding how new construction and development works. This is why I always wanted to teach real estate development and always want to be able to do this as a part of my portfolio as a financial guy, is because the wealth accumulation, number one, you can solidify strong returns. Number two, you own the dirt and you own the land, right? And number three, it's a legacy asset that's passed from generation to generation. So I'm gonna close out with this real quick. So I showed you guys, I told you why I started it. You know what I'm saying? I told you what the notion of it is. But let me take you one step further real quick. Let's talk about how you sustain stuff like this. Because a lot of people can create this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you why most people lose it. Most people lose in this game because they don't understand this slide. Most people lose as business owners and entrepreneurs because they don't understand this. So I'm really going to close out on this right here. Why do people lose? Most people lose because it's you. Sloan, what do you mean? I mean that if you're a person with a social security number in these United States of America, and you buy a property in your social security number, you bought the property. You are the person that's liable. You are the person that could be sued. You are the person that if you die, that property goes into probate, right? And can end up in God knows who hands. You are the person, if you get a divorce, is up on the asset ballot for dividing it out. You see these rappers and artists all the time who got all this freaking money, but stupid as they all get out because they don't pay the financial advisors to actually protect them properly. These guys go through these stupid relationships and then they lose all their homes because they bought it. You go through a situation where have a bad business relationship or get sued, or you go through child support or anything else, and your garnished wages. Like, the reason why most people go in business or have assets and they lose is because they bought it in a social security number. Wrong, 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 wrong. The United States of America is a corporation. Look it up. It's INC. It's a corporation. So the United States of America being a corporation, when you buy property or any level of assets for that nature, do it in an EIN number that's connected to a LLC or incorporation or anything else. Take this free game with you. You know what I'm saying? This one process that I teach inside of my system will take you to the next level of security and sustaining, because when you purchase any asset in an EIN number in the LLC, it automatically separates it from you as a person. You don't own it. The business owns it. If you ever had an IRS garnishment on your account or anything else, they only can garnish and touch your personal account. The business account is something totally separate, right? When you buy in an LLC, you don't stop there. That's great if you do that step. You're better than 90% of the people already if you just buy it in an EIN number, put in the LLC. The next step is put that deal inside an irrevocable trust. Why is that important? Because it separates the asset from the person. So all the things that I mentioned earlier, you are no longer liable for it, because as an individual, it is not connected to your social or you as a person. So now you're putting an asset inside of an irrevocable trust that's going to separate you from the asset. Lawsuits, divorces, child support, going through different liabilities, probate, you die. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to fight about, because even I'm in insurance, and so I see people that have to go to nursing homes or need long-term care. One of the first things the government do, which is absolutely horrible, they make these seniors liquidate their assets before they give them benefits. So everything in your life could have went absolutely beautiful, no child support, no divorces, no lawsuits, but you just got old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got old and you did everything right to accumulate your assets, but you got to the point where you needed long-term care, or you had to go to a nursing facility or something of that nature, and you had assets in your social security number and you had money in your bank account. The government will make you sell it or liquidate it or transfer it out of your name before they assist you. If you have a trust, you don't have that problem. So the goal of business is to have access to the assets, but no ownership. We teach this inside of base. So not only do we put people in position to make sure they have the appropriate property that has great cash flow, that have great wealth accumulation, that could put them ahead of 5% of the United States of America. With one deal, their income could be better than 5% of the people in America. We also make sure that you're protected with your assets, that we have the CPAs and the attorneys on deck that make sure the trust attorneys will take the property, put it in the LLC, put it inside of a trust, make you the trustee or the beneficiary of the trust, and now that asset is separated. So if anything, God forbid, happens, like I started with this conversation earlier, when I got into my accident 2 years ago, everything that I owned would have ended up in probate, every single last thing, because most of my cars, my home, because I bought my home 18 years ago, was all in my social. Before I came into the knowledge of the information I have now, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So everything I worked for could have been in probate, and people fighting over it with the judge. But Adrian want me to have this, or I want this, or this is my daddy's, or this is my son's, or this is my fiance's, or that. Like everybody else, like, people get ignorant when people pass. If you want to protect your assets the right way, put it in the trust and make sure it's allocated properly, because a will ain't going to protect you from probate. It's not. This one piece of the game right here is a game changer. So if you're watching this live now, or you watching this live on a recording, when you go back to it, I hope you listen to this piece, because whether you work with me in my community of helping people get in position or not, use the sauce of what I'm telling you right now to set your life up, because this is how we're going to truly have legacy. You know what I'm saying? And transitioning from one generation to the next. It's all about understanding financial literacy. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, what is it? Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. I'll be coming on live and I'll be teaching this information. Giving out free game. You know what I'm saying? It's free game, it's free sauce. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the website basefinancial.com. You can find the real estate education packages. If you want to come into the community, you can purchase one of the packages, come right into the community, get all the mentorship, learn how to do a deal, take you from the deal from start to finish to make sure that you're good to go and close your deal out. If you need funding, we have the funding resources. We can make sure. We just got a client up. He got 75,000 and got another pre-approval of 50,000 pending. So, one client just today, 125,000 on the books. I've probably been in the process a month and a half, maybe two. And so, just helping people get the funding that they need to take the deal down. It's no excuse in this economy of why you can't make money. It's no excuse. I don't care what's happened with the wars or the president or the government or anything else like that. Like, we control our own destinies and we have a family that we have to be responsible for. So this is your boy Dynamite, just giving you some sauce of what I've been working on late on the midnight hour, just burning some midnight oil with y'all, giving y'all some game, man, that we all can create what we want. And, this is just what I've been working on. You know what I mean? This is something that I've been putting some time into to be able to create. And I'm going to close out just with that picture of that joint one more time, because I just think it's absolutely beautiful. If you pull up to your crib and that's what you're pulling up in and you call that affordable housing, I think that's a beautiful thing, man. So it's Agent Dynamite on the Living Legend, man. Share each one, teach one, iron sharpen irons, man. You know my saying, you got to pay the price up front and full with no discount. There's no back doors to success, man. You got to own your space. Just me coming at you one more time, just telling you, man, we got something special. If you're interested in learning real estate, if you want to get into the community, just DM me, holler at me, man. If you want to hop on my live and just watch and learn and take notes, I'm cool with that too. You know what I'm saying? You could take some of the sauce and apply it, and put you in the right position. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to give you guys the sauce, man. So until the next time, man, stay blessed, stay strong, stay safe, and make impact. All right, peace. What's going on, family? It's your boy Agent Dynamite Sloan, the Living Legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.